The very busy John Heyman tweeting out the following. Roki Sasaki has been posted. The window runs from December 10th until 5 o'clock Eastern on January 23rd. If you're not aware, he's been excellent over in Japan. A lot of hype around Sasaki when he comes to the majors. And also from Fabian Ardea, the Dodgers bringing back Blake Trinan doesn't mean the team is done looking at relievers. They could still add another arm, including at the top of the market. According to sources, they're interested in lefty Tanner Scott and Brewers closer Devin Williams. I'm sure at some point we'll just be like, well, of course they would be, but look at what they've done so far. The Dodgers, 5 years, 182 to Snell. Edmund, 5 for 74. Trinan, who was so good, particularly in the playoffs. And Michael Conforto, why not take a flyer on a potential fourth outfielder 1 year for $17 million? Tom, your reaction to the fact if they go after Tanner Scott or Devin Williams?
I think Shohei Ohtani would be happy.
Tanner Scott always gets him out. Very good.
Hey, listen, the Dodgers, they shop at the top of the market, and they do smart moves like the Conforto move. I love that move. There's no such thing as a bad one-year deal. Fourth outfielder, as you mentioned. The ballpark in San Francisco ate him up last year. His road numbers were really good. The Dodgers have a way just to bring these guys in, the Peraltas, the Haywards, and they perform better with the Dodgers. They have a good track record there. But as far as the bullpen goes, yeah, they're never done over there. I'm not sure there's a fit or a trade with Milwaukee for Devin Williams, but Tanner Scott, why not? I mean, he is just a lights-out guy. Once in a while, he's going to have some control issues, but he's got the kind of power stuff and the kind of ability to spin the baseball the Dodgers and really every team loves.
You see Bruce Dark-Gratterall missed the first half, the shoulder injury, trying to reportedly. I mean, again, the bullpen, we saw how good they were, Case. They had bullpen games. Dave Roberts wasn't shy about utilizing them, but Tanner Scott's a difference maker.
No, he's a difference maker. And what he did over there with the Padres, I mean, that's a lefty. That's a matchup problem. For Dave Roberts to have Tanner Scott, at the back end there would be absolutely huge. I mean, he's got great stuff. But like you said, I mean, I think one thing Tom was saying about pitching is that, like, at the end of the day, you can never have enough pitching. If the team that we saw with last year was the Dodgers, all the rotation injuries that they have, all the guys that they had in the bullpen that they really had to navigate, they won that Padres series because of that bullpen. The bullpen went lights out, and Dave was able to navigate. So they know, like, if Tanner Scott's out there, boy, that'd be a great sign. Blake Trinan was nasty. To get a guy like Devin Williams in a trade, are you kidding me? So, when I look at the Dodgers, man, I think they understand to win in this league, you got to have a plethora of pitching, and they have it. And one more thing, don't forget they got Tommy Edman for 5 years at $1 million less than the signing bonus that Juan Soto got. That's 5 years, $74 million.
It's 75. Oh my God, it's amazing you put it in perspective like that. And a thought, Tom, on Sasaki. Maybe the Dodgers are the favorite because they already have Ohtani Yamamoto there, but 23 years old, another great young Japanese pitcher. A lot of excitement around this young man.
Yeah, we just don't know what his preference is. I mean, the easy guess would be Dodgers, Padres competing against one another. Every team should be in it because, after all, he's under 25 years old, so he is limited by international signing rules, amateur rules, on what his bonus can be. So everybody should be in it. You saw the numbers there. The stuff is electric. He can be one of the best pitchers in the world. He's not there yet. He's not a finished product. He doesn't have a lot of innings on his arm. They were very careful about introducing him to his team over there in Japan. So he's not going to drop into somebody's rotation and make 25 to 30 starts and throw 160 to 190 innings. That's not happening. But he's got lights out stuff. Oh, yeah. And again, we're kind of reading tea leaves and we're thinking Padres, where Darvish, one of his great mentors, is there already. The Dodgers, because of their connection to everything in Japan, how popular that Ohtani is. But we just don't know. And as I said, every team should be in it because it's such a low buy for a guy. You put him in a draft case, I think he's like a 1-1. He's that good.
Wow. And a lot of thought that he's not going to sign until after that posting period is done in late January. So remains to be seen if and when Sasaki will sign. Still to come here at MLB Tonight, live from the winter meetings here in Dallas. We'll turn our attention over to the Boston Red Sox. What will they be doing this offseason? We'll talk to Craig Breslow, the man himself, in their pursuit of Juan Soto and who else it could be targeting. Craig Breslow coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Dodgers a strike away from a championship, from a proper celebration. Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
That's it! It's a World Series win for LA! They've done it! They finished the job and give Los Angeles the parade it's been waiting for!
Oh my, world champion!
Every Los Angeles team wants that championship pixie dust. Deshaun Foster's give me some of that, Dave Roberts. Look at that. UCLA, all about Dodger Blue. It's time now for a manager interview presented by Sage. That had to be a nice moment. Dave Roberts, who joins us now on MLB Tonight. Good to see you over there with the UCLA Bruins. How was that?
Greg, that was great. You know, the game didn't go the Bruins' way, but to go out there with Coach Foster and get that jersey, 24 World Series champion, was pretty special. And you never imagine when you step foot on a college campus in a dorm, then, you know, years later, many years later, they're honoring you at the rival game. It's pretty crazy.
That is awesome. We went to break saying that you just revealed you had a media scrum just over there. Some news regarding Shohei Ohtani and his status pitching this year.
Oh, no. The question was asked, is he going to start in the Tokyo series? And my thought was it's just going to be too early of a ramp up. And, you know, there's an innings limit, a workload management part. So to think he's going to go wire to wire from Tokyo March through the end of October is hard to imagine without a stoppage in the middle of the season. So it's one of those things that it's right around the corner, but we'll go read and react.
Hey, Dave, before we jump into reality of now, you got to turn the page and start focusing on this year. I always felt like the most magical baseball moments are the ones that are most personal. So when you look back at this, could you mind sharing with us, like, the ones that were most personal to you through this journey?
Oh, my gosh, Dan.
Or the one that really stuck out?
You know, I think the one that stood out the most, there's two, and I've never even talked about this, but I'll tell this publicly, which I can't believe I'm even saying this, is before Game 1 in the World Series, Kike Hernandez told me, after this series, you're going to the Hall of Fame. So that's something that just blew my mind, and I didn't even think about that, and he was doing this and saying that for me. And the other one was in Game 5, going out to the mound to put hands on Blake Trinan and look him in the eye and says that he's got enough to get Stanton. And, you know, me on the top step thinking, am I going to let him take that next hitter, get the next hitter, and then Freddie looking at me at first base going, just stay there. Let Blake throw 60 pitches. And I listened to my first baseman and stood down, and Freddie made the right call.
Well, that's what you do. You could totally tell that you guys came together in a way and had some fire. I'm going to take you back one series or a couple series before that in the San Diego series. You guys backs against the wall. Stuff's getting wild at Dodger Stadium. Manny throws that ball at the dugout. It seemed to me then and there, and then shortly after in the reaction of your team, something shifted in a way there, and you guys stood tall from there on out.
Jake, you're right. And I think that you guys that have followed the postseason and kind of my tenor, my tone, the theme of a street fight. And the Padres are a gritty, tough, talented group, and they like that dog mentality, and everyone knows it, and it's not an insult, and that's something that they feed off of. And for us, it was almost like we were methodical boxers, and we're used to boxing conventional through the 162. But when you get to the postseason, you got to take those gloves off and street fight. And that point right there, you can see the momentum. Once that happened, our guys kind of rallied around each other, and down 2-1. We didn't bat an eye. It was a bullpen game, Game 4, and we beat Cease that day. In Game 5, Darvish threw a heck of a ball game. Good. But you just saw that street fight come out in us and continue through the postseason.
It's continued through the offseason. You got guys that just are not backing down. You guys are wearing the target that you now have. We're in Vegas. Chris Young's up on the stage with Mookie Betts, and he's like, Mookie, you got all these rings, all these accolades. What do you say to all these players in the crowd that have never won a single world championship? And he goes, well, you have to wait 7 years, but then you'll finally get another chance to win a World Series. You got Joe Kelly making comments on the New York Yankees. Like, you guys know you're great. Is the goal now not just to win another one, but do you have the feeling this is a dynasty, that you are like about to begin a dynasty with the Dodgers?
We feel that way, and I know Andrew's talked a lot about he wants it to be the golden era of the Dodgers, which the Dodgers have had a lot of great eras. You want it to be a place that people want to come to, and obviously Blake Snell said that this is the one place on earth he wanted to be. I think to your point, Greg, it's the one thing to show some confidence in yourself, your team, and the thing that I don't mind about our guys, because they back it up with hard work. And I think that, being a champion and doing it what Michael Jordan did over the years, or what Kobe did, or what Magic or Larry Bird, those guys backed it up with a lot of hard work, and I know that our guys will do that.
So speaking of Mookie, Dave, you came out right at the end of the season and said, hey, Mookie's going back into the infield. Walk us through what the thought process there. What does that mean? Does he go back to second base? Does he go back to short? Where is this?
Yeah, Danny, I think that the landscape of the roster, and obviously I think it starts with Tommy Edman. We locked Tommy Edman up, and he's a guy that can play. He can play shortstop. He can go to center field, go to second base, and obviously Mookie. We see here Mookie playing shortstop, and last year he just kind of came to us out of the blue, and we talked to Mookie in spring training and said, "Hey man, would you be willing to come from right field to play shortstop, and we're going to slide Gavin Lux over to second base?" And he didn't bat an eye and got to the ball, feet worked well. The change in arm action, the slots, that's what kind of checked him up at times. But I think right now, being able to kick Edman back out to center field, having Lux there at second base, and then Mookie there, we feel good about it, given Mookie would have an entire off-season to prepare mentally, physically, and the entire off-season.
Pitching now, obviously that was position player wise, you've loaded. I know you were thin through the playoffs, but now have you got the guys bought into a 6-man rotation? You talked about Shohei making it wire to wire. Glass now never thrown over 130. Are the guys kind of getting bought in, and is a 6-man rotation something that we're going to see?
I think that, once Shohei gets back, I think that that's going to be 6-man or 6-day. And then Yoshinobu, I think we did a great job keeping him on his schedule. I think the guy we just signed might have a problem with it, Blake Snell, as far as kind of what he's used to. So obviously we're going to have some conversations, because I think it's just, to your point, Jake, guys have bought into, hey, 28 starts versus 31 starts, it's not that big of a deal, and that extra rest will keep you frisky throughout October. And I do think that we've had enough of a sample size from certain guys that they felt stronger going into the season. And we get Tyler Glass now back, so I think giving him extra days at times will also help. So I think that kind of who we have will line that up.
Remember there was a day when only the Dodgers would offer $700 million to a player?
Crazy.
I mean,
right?
In this bananas? I asked him this question, and both of them, did you ever think there'd be a day in your baseball life that one player would get a 15-year contract for $765 million? Did you ever think that would be?
Absolutely not. I thought the contract Alex Rodriguez signed, for whatever that was, I thought that's just bananas, and no one's ever going to do that, and Alex deserved it. But where we're at right now, it's mind-blowing. But that's good for the player. It's good for it's showing that the game is thriving, so that's good for all of us. Right?
Yep.
Let me tell you who was thriving. You dancing in center field with Ice Cube. Did
I know they don't have that. I hope you guys don't have that. Oh no, come on, DOD. So this is one of those things where people say, hey, I'm going to take my shot. And so I'm sitting there going into Dodger Stadium, and I'm in center field, and I'm talking to Lon Rosen, and we're looking at Ice Cube, and I'm like, Lon, that is like my childhood guy when I had my 1988 Toyota Tercel and my 8-inch speakers in the trunk, and then it's blowing my license plate thing, right? And I'm listening to NW and Ice Cube, and I'm like,
I'm going out there.
That's my shot. So then I'm out there, and he's like, who is this crazy dude out here? And then I was like dropping it, and I was saying it was a good day, and my kids were embarrassed, but it was like, man, hey, you don't know how many chances you get to win the World Series or be on the stage with Ice Cube, and I'm going to shoot my shot.
Remember there was a day when being a big league manager would stress guys out. They would age fast. You look younger and you're cooler.
Yeah, that's great.
I don't know how you deal with this, man.
So here's the thing. I knew I was going to be on with you guys, so I got it. I did a skin fade.
It's a pro.
So I go the skin fade, right? And then I shave so you don't see the gray. So you don't see the goatee anymore, Greg. So that's
I'm on to you. Okay.
Yeah, because if I get the grays and then the bags and then the grays, like, man, this job is way too much for Doc.
Dave Roberts, you're a pure joy, man. The Dodgers, they got a good one in you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the World Series.
Pete, good to be back on stage with you, man.
Absolutely.
My guy.
And oh, by the way, Kike was right.
Thank you.
Kike was right.
Thank you.
Dave Roberts, everyone, of the Dodgers. We're going to step aside.
ロサンゼルス・ジャースは単なる強豪チームではなく MLB における新たな黄金時代を築こうとしています。このインタビューや議論は彼らの戦略、精神、 そして次なるステップについて深く掘り下げています。ルーキーや国際的な才能を獲得する戦略から、チーム内での役割と新しい挑戦まで、多面的なアプローチが見て取れます。まず注目すべきは、日本の若き才能である佐々木朗までです。23歳の彼は、その驚異的なピッチング技術とスピン能力で注目を集めていますが、これまでの登板数が少なく、慎重な起用が必要とされています。ドジャースとパドレスが彼をめぐって熾烈な争奪戦を繰り広げる可能性が高いですが、ドジャースはこれまで大谷翔平や野茂英雄を含む日本の選手との深い関係を築いてきた実績があります。そのため、佐々木がドジャースを選ぶ可能性は大いにあると言えます。また、ドジャースのフロントオフィスは、選手補強において、賢明な判断を下してきました。マイケル・コンフォート1年契約、1700万ドルやトミー・エドマン5年契約、7400万ドルといった選手の獲得は、チームの柔軟性を高めるものです。特にエドマンは複数のポジションをこなせるため、チームの戦術的オプションを広げる重要な役割を果たすでしょう。さらに、ブルペンの強化にも力を入れています。タナー、スコットやデビン・ウィリアムズのようなリリーフ投手は、ドジャースの補強リストに上がっています。特にスコットの強力な左腕やウィリアムズのエアベンダーと呼ばれる変化球は、試合を決定づける局面で大きな役割を果たす可能性があります。昨年のプレーオフでは、ブルペンが重要な役割を果たし、その経験を生かして、さらなる強化を図っています。ドジャースの成功を支えているのは、デイブ・ロバーツ監督のリーダーシップと、チームのストリート、ファイトの精神です。パドレスとのプレーオフで見せた戦い方は、従来の試合運びとは異なる新しい戦闘意識を示しました。このような姿勢が選手たちを一層結束させ、困難な状況を乗り越える力を与えています。そして大谷翔平を中心とした先発ローテーションの管理も注目されています。6人制のローテーションを導入することで、投手の負担を軽減し、シーズン終盤やプレーオフでのパフォーマンスを最大化することを目指しています。このような柔軟なアプローチが、ドジャースの競争力をさらに高めています。ドジャースの目標は、単なる勝利ではありません。ゴールデンエラと呼ばれる新しい時代を切り開き、MLB の歴史に名を刻むことです。大谷翔平、佐々木朗希、トミー・エドマンといった才能を生かしながら、チームは未来を見据えた構築を続けています。このビジョンに基づき、彼らは MLB の模範的な存在となるでしょう。これからのシーズンでは、ドジャースがどのような奇跡を見せてくれるのか、大いに期待が寄せられます。プレーオフの舞台で再び輝く方を目の当たりにするために、ファンとしても注目を続ける価値があります。ドジャースが築く新たな時代、その一部を共に目撃しましょう。